Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. Good morning, race fans, and welcome back to the Metro Ford Cup Series presented by the Old Bastards Racing League. Today, we're at the virtual Richmond Raceway, 3/4 of a mile, very unique racetrack where we've got a lot of action packed into the morning for you. As always, my name is James Eastspring, the Action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, qualifying come to an end. It looks like it's going to be Dan Hill in the top spot, but it's going to be interesting as we've had a lot of first-time winners so far this season. And we get ready to do it once more. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This beautiful Sunday morning, at least it's beautiful down here. We've got fans from all across the world tuning in, but great day to go racing. And let's see what the Titans of the Old Bastards Racing League Metro Ford Series can do here. Let's take a look and see how qualifying's currently going. See where some of our favorite drivers reside at, and take a peek and see who might be making some moves. As it looks like Chris Walt's going to go out late for qualifying in the 63 machine. Right now it's Rice in the number 20 machine sitting on top of the pole position. As we're about halfway through, oh, what's this? Walsh decides something didn't feel right there and goes back to try it again. MacArthur rolls out in the 83 machine. MacArthur, the first driver so far this season to pick up 3 different wins. One at Daytona, one at Auto Club, and last week at Chicagoland. Able to bring it home. Now, unfortunately, Eddie Jones not out on track tonight, as he is definitely in the running as well to bring home the most amount of wins possible. I got a quick note as well. Shout out to Rich Meyer and Jose Perez, always tune in. Last Ditch Racing members supporting MacArthur each and every week. So good to see those guys out here in the spectator area. Oh, bad timing though, as MacArthur goes careening around, invalidates his qualifying run. Looks like he's going to have to settle for a 12th place qualifying lap. He's going to try and go out once more, but it's going to be tough to very quickly build up that momentum and try and edge out the 22.53 lap time of Rice. MacArthur's going to have one last shot at it. Will he be able to improve on a 23 flat? I don't think. He moves up a little bit, 23.04. Got Richard Meyer joining us in the spectator area. Always great seeing him. Let's check in on Tom Liberace Ogle running out for his first hot lap in the number 11 Ford Mustang. But will anybody be able to dethrone Rice here? Putting it very squarely in the top spot of qualifying. I believe this would be Rice, his first pole position so far of the season. Looking for Josh Robinson, who's currently leading the Ride the Pole award. He's got 4 poles so far this season. Dakota Pischke, John Hinchcliffe both have 1 each. Tom Ogle gets close at 22.67. But not quite enough to edge out. Oh, look at this. Gonna say not quite enough to edge out Rice. Right as we pan to Josh Robinson going out for his qualifying run. A big moment, able to hold on to it. But the number 23 machine's going to have to very quickly find some momentum here if he wants to make it 5 pole positions of the season. Now it shows as a clean lap with a 24.89, but Robinson's going to have to put his head down if he wants any shot of overthrowing Rice here. What's going to be the line for Robinson? Moves up to second at 22.64. So the streak of Robinson will be broken here, as right now it looks like Rice is going to have it. Brian Glass out on track at 87, but I fear he's going to be way too late to get down a time, as yes, qualifying's going to end in just about now. That will set our starting lineup here at Richmond. And let's go ahead and run it through the grid for today. Starting on pole, Clint Rice, the number 20 machine. Josh Robinson starting second. Tom Liberace Ogle starts third. Dan Hill starting fourth. Jason Higginbotham starting fifth. Don Hinchcliffe starts sixth. Dakota Pischke starting seventh. Kevin Strandberg starting 8th, Chris Walsh starting 9th, Brian Lynch starting 10th, Dale Copeland starting 11th on the grid. Michael Watts will be starting 12th here today. Cycling it back to Lloyd Moore starting 13th, Dean Gear starting 14th, Carl Burke starts 15th, Dwayne MacArthur starting 16th, Jonathan Green starts 17th, Larry Corey starting 18th, Robert Garisco starts 19th, Joey Buscemi starts 20th, Ryan Lindsay starting 21st, Ken Huff starting 22nd, Brian Glass starting 23rd. Andrew Hess starts 24th on the grid. And then we've got Christopher Beasley will be starting 25th on the lineup here tonight. 200 laps here at Richmond Raceway. I am looking forward to seeing what Rice and Robinson can do on the front row. A little bit smaller grid than we've seen in the past. Only about 25 drivers registered. Now, Andrew Hess was having big problems trying to get connected to the server, so I don't know. I don't think he's going to make it out tonight. As we roll them off, let us know where you're tuning in from, who you're cheering for. These drivers will very frequently have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor, piped into their earphones, or just about always go back and watch it later. And we do get a report, Andrew Hess, Christopher Beasley, unable to make the grid here tonight. .200 laps at Richmond. Now, in the past few weeks, we've seen some great green flag runs from our drivers that were punctuated by some late race cautions. It's going to be interesting to see if tonight will follow suit. As we wait for our iRacing safety car to dive down pit road, signaling the party's about to start here at Virginia. Looking to see what Rice to that number 20 machine can do. He's currently 14th in points as the green flag flies. As they go side by side as far back as the eye can see, it looks like Rice may pull the advantage here. Yes, hold on to the top spot ahead of Robinson. Dan Hill trying to move up a spot against Tom Ogle. He's on the high line, Ogle down low. But Ogle may be getting him set up for a pass here, diving in deep on the inside line. Hill out there in no man's land in the MX PX back Chevrolet. Bringing punk rock back to the working man. Looks like Ogle gonna slot into fourth here as Hill continues to charge forward. But if we have that green flag run, tire management is gonna be a huge factor here at Richmond to see which drivers can hold on to it. Now, who's not backing down? Rice with an early 7th, 10th lead over the rest of the field. He wants to put the fray behind him before he goes into tire saving mode. Now, talking to the drivers tonight, we're expecting a whole lot of different strategies to play out. We've got some drivers planning on one-stop races, some on two, some on even on a three-stop strategy. Where again, I think tire wear is going to be the biggest factor because these drivers can go about 120 to 130 laps on fuel, but how will the tires hold on to it? As we pan back to Dan Hill, still sitting third, right behind Robinson. He's got Robinson's teammate Ogle behind as well. Got a bit of a battle there for the top 10. Dale Copeland, Chris Walsh. A little bit of side-by-side action. As it is a pretty busy racetrack early on. 22 drivers out on track. Larry Corey had problems with the number 17 machine. He's already left for the evening, back to the virtual hauler. It's pretty much single file all the way around. As we check in with John Hinchcliffe in the number 50 machine, he was having some pressure from Dakota Pischke in the number 1. But not a lot of big moves have been made yet. Right now our hard charger looks like it's going to be Buscemi. And the number 56 machine, he's up 4 spots trying to chase down Carl Burks, number 52. He's got Robert Marisco behind him. Marisco also up 2 spots. But we've got something going on as Kevin Stramberg showed off track, having some sort of issue in the 58. He's dropped down a couple spots early. Let's see what happened to Stramberg here. Ooh, maybe a little bit of bump. We see him go all the way down to the very short infield and able to collect himself. So well done on the save. No caution as of yet. We're watching Carl Burke right behind him. Stramberg in gear going at it. And just ahead, it looks like MacArthur trying to make moves on, that's going to be Brian Lynch's number 9 machine. MacArthur diving down the inside line, making it stick. MacArthur, we saw him spin in qualifying, so he's going to have to charge back up towards the field if he wants to salvage the evening. Right now, MacArthur second in points. He's 19 points behind Eddie Jones, but Jones not making his way out tonight. So tonight could be a big evening for MacArthur, Robinson, Pischke, Lynch, everybody else inside the top 5, sans Eddie Jones, to make their way up forward and try and capitalize off the absence of the Raging Cajun Eddie Jones. Looks like a pretty calm start to the race, 13 laps in. Just about the entirety of the field, single file. We're watching Dale Copeland running 8th. He's got Chris Walsh and Michael Watts right behind him, with Dakota Pischke, number 1 machine, just ahead. Now We talked about the pit strategies, thinking we might see 1, 2, or 3 stops under green flag conditions. I would be shocked if that's what the entire field maybe decides to go with a one-stop strategy, because already it looks like they're heavy on the tire savings. Not really pushing the cars too much, but Walsh says, you know what, let's get this pace going, as he starts putting the pressure on the back of Copeland's 55 Chevrolet. Because the more the run goes on here, the harder it's going to be to make any of those moves and to make them stick, as the tire wear is going to be a really big factor here at Richmond. We've seen one close call to a caution so far, but thankfully everybody keeping it underneath them, at least at this point of today's main event. Up front, Rice has been losing that gap ever so slightly that he was holding over Josh Robinson. It's down to about 3/4 of a second. He had it up to a full second at one point. Robinson has Dan Hill right behind him, the number 10 machine. Hill in the running for the Rookie of the Year award. As Ogle and Higginbotham round out the top 5. Robinson slowly inching up to Rice here. Run anywhere between a 10th to 2/10 faster than your race leader the last few laps. So it looks like Robinson gonna try and make something happen here. As he looks to the inside line, here we go, the pass for the lead. Robinson and Rice side by side. Rice gonna have a little bit more speed on the high line, carrying the momentum, but I think Robinson's gonna get him set up here. Robinson takes over the race lead, and here comes Dan Hill, going to try and capitalize as well. A little bit of monkey see, monkey do as he watches Robinson make that inside line work. And I think Rice is going to be hung out on the high line by himself here, because now Tom Ogle is also going to try and follow Dan Hill, the number 10 machine, up the inside line. Let's see if Higginbotham does the same in the 44. It looks like he does. We're going to watch Ogle now to see if he can take over third place, squeezing out Rice. He will do so. Now it's going to be Higginbotham's turn, so poor Rice can't get back down low where he wants to be. Goes from first to 5th in a matter of 4 laps here. And now this is where things get exciting, because when Josh Robinson, your race leader, is out front with clean air in that 23 Ford Mustang, he's very, very quick. And like all racers, that top spot is his favorite place to be, as he holds a 9/10 advantage over Dan Hill. Current hard charger on track still, Joey Buscemi, number 56 machine. He's up 6 spots, now showing 14th on the raceway. Robinson just clicking off laps here. Very quickly pulling it over a second gap to Dan Hill. Let's go a little bit further back to Jason Higginbotham, still running right behind Tom Ogle, as well as just ahead of Clint Rice. A little bit of an accordion effect happening every time these guys dive into the corners, different braking marks. As you see Rice really closing the gap under braking, but hopefully Rice not using up too much of those tires, as we've got a long way to go here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's starting to get a little bit stretched out, except for Ogle and Higginbotham, still running third and fourth on the track. Lap times now over a second slower than what they were doing in the opening 10 laps, so drivers already feeling the effects of tire wear. Now, I don't want to hit with a commentator's curse, but it looks like we could have some clean racing here tonight, but where things will get interesting, doubly interesting, as those tires start to really cook off, and that's what's going to be harder for the drivers to hold on to it, to get those braking marks down. And right as we say that, I've said the thing, I've messed up, ladies and gentlemen. I, the broadcaster, have caused the first crash, where it is Kevin Strandberg, Brian Lindsay involved. Watching Strandberg, tags the outside wall slightly. And just like that, Lindsay also pushed wide right afterwards. So heavy damage for Strandberg and Lindsay. We get it pointed back in the right direction. I think Lindsay may have taken a tow there, not entirely sure. No, he was able to get it fired back up in the right direction, but that'll be our first caution of the night. And I expect to see just about everybody come down pit road here for the first stop of the evening. Everybody taking 4 fresh tires, a full tank of gas. Look at Dan Hill climbing on up. Now going to be starting second. Looks like Ken Huff opted to stay out in the 46 machine. So already with the first early caution, things are getting swapped around here a little bit. As it's going to show Robinson, Hill, Ogle, Higginbotham, Rice to your top 5. A lot of familiar names and faces getting swapped around up here. Now Dakota Pischke did not have the pit stop he was looking for. He was over a second slower than a majority of the field. The number 1 machine showing 7th on the live timing and scoring tower on the left side of your screen. We pull that up so you can see where your favorite drivers may be. And uh-oh, I think that's Dan Hill. Has some big blinks there. Hopefully he gets that corrected, otherwise he will get moved to the back of the field as he's got all sorts of problems out of that number 10. Here we go. The green flag flies with Robinson and Hill on the front row. But Hill has bad connection issues. He's gonna have to hop out of the way here or a big crash is imminent. As right behind him is Rice and Higginbotham, hoping that that number 10 doesn't reappear in the worst possible spot. Keep an eye on that number 10. He's running 3rd right behind Ogle, but nobody's going to get too close to him here as he's got those massive blinking issues. Now what's going to happen as this continues, Dan Hill will be asked to hop off the racing line to make room for the drivers not having connection issues, as he is a hazard to both himself and others at this point. Maybe he'll get it corrected, but it's not looking good for the number 10 rookie driver. Allowing teammates Robinson and Ogle to get a bit of a breakaway, running 1st and 2nd. As now there are 3 different contenders for hard charger: Dwayne MacArthur, Robert Carisco, Brian Glass, all up 8 spots after that first caution. It looks like for now Dan Hill has got it under control with the connection issues. Ogle and Robinson holding about a half second over Dan Hill, running 1st and 2nd. Now this is dangerous for the whole field here. We've got 2 teammates that are great on tire savings linking up to try and put in work, but notice that Ogle's not getting too close to the back of Robinson. I'm wondering if that's to keep the dirty air off the front of that number 11. As the 2 Ford drivers keep clicking off laps. Got Richard Meyer in the spectator. He's cheering on MacArthur, that hard charger. He's worked his way up into 8th after a dismal qualifying. So the early cautions could work well with the fast Canadian if he can keep pulling himself up a couple spots at a time and not have to worry as much about the long run tire management, but long runs are not abnormal here at the Old Bastards Racing League Metro Ford Cup Series, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Or if about that 35 lap mark is where we're going to see drivers really struggling to hold on to the car as they tighten up. Robinson Ogle extending the gap slightly to Dan Hill, going a little bit further back. Clint Rice has company from Jason Higginbotham's number 44 Toyota Camry. As right now the battle for fourth on screen, it's Rice, Higginbotham, and now John Hinchcliffe joining the fray in the number 50 machine. They're going to be chased by Dakota Pischke, Dwayne MacArthur as well in a fairly tight pack here. Just 1/4 of the way through today's main event. And now Dan Hill looks like he's caught up to the back of Tom Ogle in the battle for second. Robinson, Ogle, Hill all up one spot so far tonight. We have 18 drivers on the lead lap. I believe about 20 or 21 still out on track racing here out of the 25 that originally entered. Now, look at this. Andrew Hess was able to get back out on track about 16, 17 laps later than his competition. So, hate to see it for Hess, who had those big issues early on. iRacing has been pushing out some updates this week that's kind of reared its ugly head against several great drivers, but hey, able to get out here, still race with his friends in some sort of capacity. As Hinchcliffe goes way wide, the number 50 machine. That's going to allow Dakota Pischke and Dwayne MacArthur to move up a spot each. As Hinchcliffe falls back to 8th, Pischke now 6th, MacArthur running 7th. Now I'm interested to see what the strategy is going to be out of these drivers as well. Who's going to go hard early on and who's going to plan on a green flag run. Maybe some of our fans here will have some better suggestions as Pischke has a big blink as well. What's the safe move here? Is it a plan for a green flag run and hope we run it out all the way out, or is it to push hard, push early, make up some spots when you can, and then see what happens from there? Valuing the feedback from our viewers on that one for certain. As Dan Hill has had a bit of a bobble now, has pressure from Clint Rice and Jason Higginbotham in the battle for third. Oh no, Hill having those issues once more, just ahead of Rice and Higginbotham. If our drivers aren't patient here with the blinking car, it could spell disaster, especially as Rice, Higginbotham, Pischke all linked up nose to tail. If there is an incident, it will spell disaster as Richmond, fairly wide in theory, but can quickly turn into a parking lot if things go bad. Looks like Rice has backed off the throttle slightly in that number 20 Chevrolet. Good to see so many new names and faces climb in the standings this season progressed. Bryce, Hill, all in the running for the Rookie of the Year award. Hill actually first in those standings. Dan Hill, the number 10 machine. Bryce is, I believe, fourth in those standings, just about 10 points back from the number 10. So a few different cool things going on here in the Metro Ford Cup Series. We got the Rookie of the Year award will be given out late in the season. We've got the Manufacturers Cup as well, that's led by Chevrolet with 99 points. They're being chased by Ford, who has right about 80. Toyota currently sitting with 30, let's call it 36 points in that chase. Now, we are about at the point where drivers were having issues during the first run with how tight the car was, not able to get it slowed down. And you start seeing it plowing towards that outside wall. And a little bit further back, you've got Lloyd Moore battling with Brian Glass's 87 machine. In the battle for 15th, I believe that's going to be Hess, a couple cars back from Glass. Riding around just enjoying the race since he's fairly far out of it. It would take a whole lot of cautions for Hess to work his way up towards the front. As you can see, Glass starting to push a little bit wide. Wherever he comes down, starts to get on the brakes. And man, Dan Hill still battling connection issues in the number 10 as he sits in third. As he's got Rice, Higginbotham, Pischke right behind him. Dwayne MacArthur starting to catch up as well here in the mix. And we're still at a three-way tie for hard chargers. Buscemi, Garisco, MacArthur all up 9 positions. Could be 10 if Dan Hill finally has the disconnect, or his internet just can't take it any longer. Hill also has to worry if he has one of those massive blinks over one of the timing strips embedded in the track. Sometimes that lap will not be counted and you will find yourself scored 1 lap short. So not looking terribly great for Dan Hill, the number 10 machine, if his luck continues with the connection. But you know who's not having any problems is Josh Robinson out front in the number 23 machine. He is 2.5 seconds ahead of his teammate Tom Ogle. At this point, they're running 35 laps into it. 70 laps total tonight. And just clicking off laps, making it look even, running almost 2/10 faster than the majority of the field at this point. Robinson still charging forward. Looks like Higginbotham's made a move on Rice here to take over the 4th place spot. Higginbotham moving that 44 Toyota Camry up 1 spot from where he started. As here's the part where drivers going to be really fighting that tire wear. So now Rice will have pressure from Dakota Pischke. In the background, you can see MacArthur in the 83 machine slowly crawling his way up over the run. Dakota Pischke starting to put some pressure on Rice to work that number 1 machine up inside the top 5. Ooh, this is going to be a close one. Pischke looking for any way through Rice he possibly can. That's allowing Jason Higginbotham in that number 44 machine to extend his gap. He's about 1.25 seconds ahead of Rice and Pischke at this point. Are we going to see any big moves? Or is the tire wear just too great for these drivers again? They can go about 120 to 130 laps on fuel if they do a little bit of saving here at Richmond. The fuel window is, I mean, it's all across the board here. It could be open now for some of these drivers. It could be open around lap 140, 150, to anywhere as high as 160, depending on what the strategy these drivers are on. We have not seen a green flag stop so far tonight. We had that caution on lap 35 that brought just about the whole field down pit road. Oh, Pischke taking a look at the inside. Rice closes the door. Rice makes it stick. Now let's see, will MacArthur follow suit in the 83 machine side by side as they cross the start-finish line in the battle for 6th? Well, looks like MacArthur will get clear here. We've seen that the high line, definitely not the fastest way around late in a run. And MacArthur now makes it up 10 positions, currently sitting in 6th, 6/10 behind Dakota Pischke. We pan back to Tom Ogle running 2nd overall. He's 3.5 seconds back from race leader Josh Robinson. But Dan Hill in 3rd has been inching closer and closer to the White Claw seltzer-backed Ford Mustang number 11 of Tom Ogle. like Ogle, though, putting down the hammer, but he will soon have traffic to contend with as he continues his second place run. Look at him getting all the way down to the apron, maybe trying to help that car rotate a little bit. As Dan Hill was getting dangerously close to that outside wall. That's what we're talking about. The tire wear really progresses, really tough to make any moves to keep that car glued down the inside line. And if you drift too high, too late, it's a good way to get acquainted with our good friend outside wall. As the 46 machine of Ken Huff is about to go a lap down to Tom Ogle. He's already lost the lap to Robinson, your race leader. Everybody does such a great job communicating here at the Metro Ford Cup Series on how to help facilitate those passes wherever they can. Panning back to the battle just inside the top 10, you got Joey Buscemi in the 56 machine, putting the pressure on Robert Garisco. Both these drivers up 10 spots as well. So once again, 3 drivers in running for the Hard Charger. Everybody up 10 spots. MacArthur, Garisco, Buscemi making some moves here. Are we going to see Garisco and Buscemi have a battle? Or are they just going to keep trucking forward and try and get through this run without losing too much tire? But we've got to go back up front, as now we're going to have a battle for third. Higginbotham has found some speed and putting the pressure on Dan Hill's number 10 machine. He looks to the inside line. Looks like it's going to be Hill to line, but just by about 1/10 of a second. But now Higginbotham on that preferred group, diving it down low. And just like that, Higginbotham works his way up into podium contention. Hill tucks in right behind the Camry. He'll run a little bit of a higher line here. As we see Higginbotham staying glued to that inside line. Higginbotham now has traffic to contend with. That's once again the 46 of Ken Huff trying to make things easier for the battle for third, not wanting to get tied up in that one. As Higginbotham holds on to third and extends his gap to Dan Hill to just that 0.4 of a second. Now traffic really becoming a factor as we get closer and closer to the halfway mark of today's main event. Everybody getting inside the vortex of danger a little bit more every time they have to cut through traffic. It's everybody fighting with tire wear here. This takes one little bobble, one little mistake, and it's going to be enough to send 2 different drivers crash into each other. Or what's more common is seeing a driver tag that outside wall as the car is really tightened up. If he tags that outside wall and kind of pinball back to the inside, it gets quite exciting quite quickly. Got a battle for 7th going on. Michael Watts battling out with Clint Rice. Rice had the pace early on, but kind of struggling with tire management. As now John Hinchcliffe's going to come down pit road for a green flag stop in the number 50 machine. Hinchcliffe will be our first driver to come down pit road for a green flag stop so far this evening at Richmond. Robinson out front. He's got almost a 6-second advantage over second place Tom Ogle, but he's got a whole lot of traffic to contend with here. As it stands, we've only got 13 drivers on the lead lap. About to make it 12 as Robinson tries to put some pressure on Brian Lynch in the number 9 machine. Lynch running 13th on track. Brian Glass in the 87 running 15th. He comes down pit road for a green flag stop as well. Going well for Robinson. He's going to hope that we don't have any sort of cautions as he's allowed to continue his massive charge under these green flag conditions. Robinson has extended that gap now to Tom Ogle in second to over 6 seconds. Now, interesting enough, Robinson, Ogle, Higginbotham, all within 0.05 of a second their last time by. So the pace very, very similar. I think it's going to be a game of traffic management at this point. As it looks like all of our top 3 drivers just about equally matched on pace, but finding themselves very well spread out here. Gears completed his green flag pit stop as well. As we pull up the live timing and scoring chart on the left side of the screen, you can see where your favorite driver is. It's Robinson out front, Ogle second, Higginbotham third, Hill fourth, Pischke inside the top 5. Now Robinson, who is one of the dominant drivers last season, still looking for his first win so far of the 2022 season. He is running a bit of a limited schedule than what he has in the past, but always great seeing Robinson out on track. But uncharacteristic to see him this late in the season without that first win. He is no stranger to either winning or being on the podium. Now, he's podiumed 3 different times so far this season. A third at Auto Club, a second at Phoenix, and a third last week at Chicagoland. And he's led at least 25, 26 laps per race every time he's in here. Always very clean. Every time he's on the podium, he's got 0 incident points. But again, still looking for that first win. And seems like late race cautions have really plagued Robinson in the past, as he's getting ready to put his teammate Hess another lap down. Hess, a very late entry after being unable to get connected to the server today. Finally able to get it dialed in, but just about 16 laps after the other drivers, the rest of the field really, was able to get out on track. Dan Hill, the number 10 machine, comes down pit road. about 76 laps over that run. Jonathan Green is also diving down pit road. But how far is Robinson going to take it? I would imagine as he continues gaining ground on the rest of the field, he's going to run that number 23 Ford Mustang till it's bone dry. As last time by, he was about 3/10 faster than Ogle, running second in the number 11 machine. And about 0.05 of a second faster than Jason Higginbotham, running third. So as long as Robinson has the pace, keeps putting distance between himself and the other drivers behind him, he'll stay out as long as he can, because we know Robinson is an absolute pro when it comes to tire management. Well, as I say that, Robinson goes very high here. I wonder if maybe he's trying out some different lines, or if he's really fighting the car at this point as well. As in front of him, he sees a two-car battle. I believe that's going to be Chris Walsh, Carl Burke, battling for 10th place. Robinson's going to play it safe here, not put himself in too much danger. But he is losing a little bit of time to Tom Ogle. Ogle gained about 0.3 that last lap, as Robinson's heavily backed off the pace with traffic battling in front of him. But I think Robinson's going to start signaling, hey, here I come. Got at the inside line of Carl Burke. Burke makes his car go as wide as possible to help facilitate that pass. MacArthur comes down pit road in the 83 machine for a lap 117 pit stop. Meanwhile, it looks like the Team Miata drivers, Robinson, Ogle, Hess, opting to stay out even longer here. Good Jimmy also down pit road. Robinson still about 5.7 seconds ahead of second place runner Tom Ogle. Ogle only about 0.4 ahead of Higginbotham here, so still may see a battle form up, but can't look away from Josh Robinson as he's having to cut through all sorts of traffic. As the green flag stops are currently underway, we show only 7 drivers on the lead lap. Now watch this. There's Michael Watts, I believe, in the number 84. Yes, who's going to be charging past the field with new tires. Now, if we are going to see another late race caution, it could be in the next 5 to 10 laps, as you're going to have a whole lot of drivers with different speed and capabilities coming out of pit road compared to the drivers who are on somewhat 80-lap older tires. Clint Rice, Chris Walsh, Ryan Lynch all down pit road for what could very well be the final time of the night. How long is Robinson going to stay out here for? As this pit cycle finishes, Jason Higginbotham comes down pit road. He's going to accompany Dakota Pischke. I believe we're going to have a whopping 2 drivers out on the lead lap at this point. Josh Robinson and Tom Ogle, the 2 Team Miata drivers, stretching it to the limits here. Now, maybe after all, they are hoping for a late race caution to put a whole lot of competition a lap down. Ogle comes down pit road on lap 124. Robinson still stretching it out as long as he possibly can. Dakota Pitchkey, the number one, going to try and get a lap back here with his fresh tires. Looking at the inside line as we go 3 wide as traffic comes out of pit road. Now this is going to make it tough for Robinson as well. If he does want to come down pit road, he's got a lot of drivers charging up his inside line. As there goes Pitchkey, there goes Rice. And we may, yes we will, have a caution with Jesh Robinson being on the lead lap here. Ooh, this is going to be interesting as the field checks up. I think it may have been Dan Hill, the number 10 machine, showing involved in that incident. Oh, too much throttle. Swaps. Man, that was... I think we could have gotten away without the caution there, as Hill was able to collect himself relatively quickly. But let's see what happens here as Robinson shows as the only driver on the lead lap. And there's only one lucky dog, so are we going to see everybody who came in take another set of tires, or are they all going to stay out to try and get a lap back from Robinson? Robinson comes down pit road all by his lonesome so far. Now this is interesting. I think he's kind of forcing everybody else to have to stay out here to get that lap back. Lap or laps in the case of most of the field. Right side goes up. Left side goes up. And Robinson's going to haul the male out of pit road after the second caution of the evening here at the Metro Ford Cup Series at Richmond. Now, this is actually a pretty good spot for Robinson to be in here. As he will, without question, have some of the freshest tires out on the raceway. I believe with this stop, we're going to have about 5 or 6 drivers on the lead lap once this thing gets settled in. Currently showing the top 8 drivers on the lead lap while Hinchcliffe's in pit road. So how is this going to shake things up? As I believe everybody who came down pit road should be good to go to run it all the way out, but keep an eye out on Robinson as well as Hinchcliffe. Took 4 fresh tires on a lap 128 pit stop, able to hold on to that second place spot. You've got Robinson, who is fast on the long run and now will also have some of the freshest tires out on track. Will Robinson be able to break that bad luck streak and finally pick up a win here of the 2022 season? Whole lot of drivers getting some wave arounds here. It'll be interesting to see how many are back on the lead lap for this restart. Here we go. Showing Robinson and MacArthur. Running 1 and 2. MacArthur up 14 spots, but he's going to have a whole lot of traffic to contend with. I don't see MacArthur around. He's 3 seconds back, showing in second. What's going on here? Having to start with the field. Interesting. So this is exactly where Robinson wants to be, out front with fresh tires. And he's going to hope we can go green for the remaining 66 laps here at Richmond. But we've got problems somewhere as Andrew Hess shows involved in a crash, gets it pointed in the right direction. He'll limp it down pit road. Very well done not to bring out a caution. But you got a whole lot of fast drivers trying to work their way up in the standings. As we pan once again back to MacArthur, up 14 spots. He's got company with Dan Hill, Tom Ogle, Michael Watts, Clint Rice, all battling fiercely. I wonder if the field wasn't able to get together in time and move the proper race leaders up front, as everyone's in a very dangerous and precarious position here. As the field stacks up slightly behind Rice. Rice has a little bit of traffic in front of him as you see Ogle and Watts try and work their way up as well. So Hastings letting us know as the wave around cars were at the end of the longest line. That had a large portion of the race leaders starting about mid-pack on that, what could be the final restart. As we check in on Robinson, we've got 8 drivers on the lead lap, but a whole lot of traffic intertwined. Robinson with an early 4.2 second lead. He's got to be very thankful with how that late race caution broke down in his favor. Staying out late bode well for the number 23 machine. As Ogle and Hinchcliffe go side by side in the battle for 6. Ogle on the inside line, Hinchcliffe on what is now the right side of your screen. They're going to try and catch up to Michael Watts in the 84. Watts going where that top 5 marker is, as he's currently up 7 spots in the 84 Ford Mustang. But we got great racing all across the track. Rice has taken over the 3rd place spot from Hill once more. But Watts is on the gas and charging strong here. He's made his way inside the top 5, wants to keep that forward momentum up. We're going to check in on MacArthur, who has Clint Rice, the number 20 machine, just about 6-7 tenths back, but MacArthur has a lot of traffic ahead. He's got Robert Garisco in the 28 machine right in front of him. as well as I believe maybe Chris Walsh in the 63. This traffic is allowing Robinson to extend his gap over 5 seconds to the fast Canadian Dwayne MacArthur. No, that's Garisco and the 26 of Lloyd Moore just ahead of the Canadian. And a little bit further back, look at this battle. Michael Watts, Tom Ogle, Hinchcliffe, Dan Hill, all in the mix, battling hard for the 4th to 7th place spots. Now, if we can run green, I believe these drivers will have about 20-25 minutes left of racing, but it's going to be interesting to see how things are going to work out as we've had the field kind of bundled up together after that restart. Different tire strategies, different speeds, different skill sets, all thrown into the meat grinder here at Richmond. As MacArthur has company from Clint Rice's number 20 machine in the battle for second. Now Rice still about 1.2 seconds ahead of Michael Watts in 4th. But I think MacArthur realizing, hey, I've got to get on the gas and start cutting through traffic. I do not want that much company behind me as he goes side by side with the 92 machine of Dean Gear going another lap down. Clint Rice able to follow MacArthur through nice and easy. But up front, Josh Robinson has almost a 7-second advantage over the rest of the field here. Now MacArthur knows he just has to finish well inside the top 5 to really extend his points, as Eddie Jones is out. So both MacArthur in second and Robinson, your race leader, they're running second and third in points here tonight. And should be able to capitalize on a fantastic evening. So MacArthur knows, hey, you know what, a race win may be out of reach if we go green, but let's salvage some points and see what can happen here. As I believe if we finish with Robinson out front, MacArthur second, MacArthur may move up to first in the points. I think Robinson, it's going to be close to see if he's tied with Jones or not. But with Robinson missing a couple rounds early on the season, he'll take every win he can possibly get, especially that elusive first win for the number 23 machine. Checking in on Robinson. Looks like clean track all the way around for the most part at least. He's got a couple seconds of clean air in front and behind him. As we are less than 50 laps left to go for this main event at Richmond, the Old Bastards Racing League Metro Ford Cup Series. Just the right amount of cautions, the right amount of excitement. And if Robinson can pick up the win here as well, that would really help out Ford in the Manufacturers Cup as well. Ford has yet to put a car in victory lane in that top spot so far this season. And right now they're really hoping that Robinson can make something happen. Traffic hopping out of the way of your race leader. And we will interrupt the party with another caution to reset the field. It shows Robert Garisco tied up in that one. Let's see what happened to the 28 machine. He's got Tom Ogle behind him. As Garisco slides up or tries to slide up the inside line of Carl Burke. Oh, and I think Garisco might have pushed up just a little bit as Burke came down. Both drivers pinball across each other, but it's going to be Garisco with a hard hit. Thankfully for Tom Ogle, he was able to slide through there nice and easy, as Ogle has not had a lot of luck so far this season, but we're going to reset the field and see what's going to happen here. As once again, everybody comes down pit road. So let's see what's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. As right now it shows Robinson, Rice, MacArthur, Ogle, Hinchcliffe here, top 5. 10 drivers on the lead lap with just about 40 laps left to go. And there's a whole lot of drivers that have been sent back to the virtual hauler early. Andrew Hess, Jonathan Green, Brian Lindsay, Kevin Stramberg, Larry Corey, all back to the hauler, and we had Christopher Beasley with the did not start. So gonna be looking a little sparse here after the race. The drivers starting to get their wave around from the pace car. Pace car is in, here we go. Everybody with fresh tires, at least inside the top 10. Green flag is out. Away goes Robinson and Rice on the front row. Keep an eye on Rice because he's had quite spectacular short run speed. And it will be a 39 lap shootout here. This is not what Robinson was looking for. He had a 7-second advantage before that caution came out. Now it's Robinson, Rice, Ogle inside the top 3. Ogle putting the pressure on Rice early on. And here comes Dwayne MacArthur as well, number 83 machine. He's up 12 spots so far this evening, I believe. And yes, I confirm he is the hard charger so far. Oh, who's that getting snapped loose? That was Rice in the 20. A big moment coming out with fresh tires. Oh, and he cooked him. Around goes Rice. Does he hold on to it? The field checks up. No, MacArthur gets into him. And they're going to stack him up for another caution. We saw that one coming. Rice in what was the longest crash we've seen in a while. Let's back that one up, because that was a long, long crash. So Rice gets loose, was able to hold on to it, but gets loose again. Flat tracking it around the circuit of Richmond, and then here comes MacArthur, nowhere to go. Then, man, MacArthur's going to have some heavy damage from that one. As once again, the field comes down pit road. The late race caution striking once more. Ogle and Pischke were able to get through that one clean. Pischke opts to stay out in the number 1 to take over the race lead as Robinson, Ogle, Hinchcliffe, Watts, Hill all down pit road. Looks like Higginbotham also going to stay out in the 44 machine. Robinson has seen this time and again, has a good green flag run. As you see the two Team Miata drivers almost in tandem there. Dan Hill able to pick up a spot on pit road. He only took 2 sets of tires, as well as Michael Watts. So now Robinson and Ogle in the hot seat will be starting 7th and 8th. With, I believe it's going to be about 33 or 32 laps left to go on this restart. For the first time in a long time, Robinson's going to have a whole lot of traffic to try and slice through. Well, let's see what's going to happen. 4th caution of the night, late into the race. And it's going to be Pischke and Higginbotham on the front row. Watson, Hill, your 2nd row. Robinson, Ogle, your 3rd row. MacArthur came down on lap 167, maybe to get some tires. Maybe if he had time, a little bit of repairs done on that 83. Your top 3 is Chevrolet, Toyota, Ford. A very diverse chance of a podium here tonight. Pace car is in. And let's see what Pischke and Higginbotham can do on about 8-lap older tires. As here we go. Look at the launch from Higginbotham on the outside line. Dan Hill going to try and follow suit as well around Pischke, but here comes Ogle in the number 11. Working the outside line, the field stacks up. Is that Robinson trying to make it 3 wide? Yes, he was, but Michael Watts backs out of it. As Dan Hill, Dakota Pischke going side by side for second. Higginbotham has about a 6/10 advantage over this battle as they go 2 wide, 2 rows deep. There's Tom Ogle, there's Michael Watts, all in the mix as well as Robinson trying to slice through as well in the 23. No time left to play it safe or worry too much about tire management, just gotta go. Oh, but it's gonna be interrupted once more with another big crash. Showing Dean Gear involved in that one. Oh, who was that? That was the most egregious netcode I've ever seen. Look at the, oh, that's why. It was Robert Garisco had disappeared. Never mind, so Garisco gets a little bit of help. And then netcode just absolutely cleans out Gear there on the Fox Sports 92 machine. Let's watch that one once more because that was... Let's back that up. So watch Garisco. He's in the middle. He may have gotten disconnected due to disqualification. But the sim still registered his car pushing up. And then poor Dean Gear, who should have been able to get through that one relatively easy, just absolutely punted to the outside wall. MacArthur comes down pit road for once again, and maybe some repairs to be done, throwing on tires if he's got some left in reserve. So much for long runs. We are back into shootout conditions here at Metro Ford Cup Series. It's showing Higginbotham, Hill, your front row, Pischke, Ogle, your second row, Watts and Robinson, your third row. Looks like MacArthur will be your current highest scoring driver who came in at lap 172. Everybody else opts to stay out for track position. I believe it'll be 25 laps left to go on this restart. Higginbotham had a spectacular launch just a few laps prior. Will that number 44 Toyota Camry be able to do it 2 times in a row, because he'll have Dan Hill on his outside with Pischke and Ogle right behind. What's gonna happen here, ladies and gentlemen? It'll be 24 laps left to go as they cross the line. Will we run it out, or are we going to have some more big crashes here to interrupt the party? Away they go for what could be the final time. Higginbotham, another great launch. Dan Hill trying to answer on the outside line. As look at Ogle and the bright pink number 11 machine making some strides, sitting third. Robinson's going to try and make some moves as well. Dan Hill, a bit of a shimmy there, trying to put the pressure on Higginbotham. He knows he's got to push hard because Ogle and Robinson in hot pursuit, as well as Pischke, Watts, Hinchcliffe, Rice, MacArthur, Lynch. A lot of really fast drivers inside the top 10, and now long run pace not really a concern. Everybody hard on the gas, but it looks like Ogle had a bit of a lockup there. That's going to allow Robinson to work his way through in the inside line. Dakota Pischke also going to try and make a move as well. So now it's Higginbotham, Hill, Robinson, your top three. Looks like Ogle has something going on there. I'm not sure if he's got damage or what the issue may have been, but we saw a couple sparks coming out that number 11 machine. Hill in second, knows Robinson right behind him as Higginbotham has extended his lead to 8/10. Ooh, a big bobble from Hill. Here comes Robinson up the inside line to take over second place. He will do so quite soundly. Now we know Robinson has long run pace. Does he have the short run speed as well out of that 23 Ford Mustang? As Higginbotham is on the gas and flying here, but Higginbotham is on about 8-lap older tires than Robinson. Will Robinson have enough time under green flag racing to close that 1.2 second advantage that Higginbotham has out front? Robinson can see Higginbotham in front of him. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Robinson closes the gap to 1 second. Behind Robinson, Dan Hill sits about 7/10 off the second place driver. Somehow, miraculously, MacArthur still your hard charger up 8 spots, currently sitting 8th on track. But I'm wondering if damage coming into play for that 83 machine after his hard hit early on. Robinson closing the gap to 9/10 over Higginbotham. How much difference will 8 laps give you on a set of tires here at Richmond? We will find out with 15 laps left to go. Higginbotham was about a 10th slower than Robinson that last time by. With 15 laps left to go, he's going to have to hope either Robinson's pace falls off, or if Higginbotham can find some more speed here, because in theory he should be overtaken in about 9 laps, or at the very least expect Robinson to be on his back bumper with about 5 or 6 laps left to go if both drivers keep their current pace here. Seven-tenths separate Higginbotham from Robinson. Last time by, Robinson another 10th faster than your race leader Higginbotham, getting closer and closer to the 44. Just 12 laps left to go. And the top 5 all but decided here. Higginbotham has about a half-second advantage over Robinson. Robinson 1.2 over Dan Hill in third. And then the field gets a little bit more strung out. We've got just 12 drivers on the lead lap from the 25 original entries. Here comes Robinson, 10 laps left to go, less than a half second separating your race leaders. There's no one else in front or behind these two Titans. Higginbotham doesn't race the Metro Ford Cup Series too often, but when he does, very frequently out front. Now, as a reminder, Higginbotham won just a few weeks prior at Phoenix Raceway. That race also had 6 cautions for 25 laps. Now, this is only Higginbotham's 3rd race of the season. At Atlanta last week, he had a very rough race. Started 35th, finished 37th after leaving a little bit early after 27 laps. So trying to capitalize on a little bit of bad luck, but he's going to have his hands full as here comes Robinson. The number 23 Ford Mustang trying so desperately hard to pick up his first win of the season. Higginbotham trying to make it his second with 7 laps left to go. Oh, this is going to be a good one. We know Robinson has long run speed. Higginbotham has been an absolute professional on the short run. The few times we've seen him out on track. 6 laps left to go as they cross the line. You can see Dan Hill about 1.3 seconds back from your race leader. Did Higginbotham leave a little bit of tire in reserve, a little bit of extra traction to plan on fending off Robinson in these few final laps? And is Robinson measuring up the competition out of that number 44 Toyota Camry to see where he may have any sort of weakness? Looks like Higginbotham back on the throttle, running the same lap time as Robinson last time by. Both drivers in that 23.45 range. It'll be 3 laps left to go this next time by. If we can take the white flag, we will avoid any green-white checker attempts this evening. Higginbotham has extended that gap back to a half second. Both Higginbotham and Robinson once again running identical lap times, both slowing down equally here with 23.5s that last time by. Let's see what it's going to be at the line. Does Robinson have time? Does he have the momentum to try and get up there and battle with the 44s? It's now 2 laps left to go. Robinson was about 0.15 of a second faster that last time by, closing the gap to about 3 to 4 tenths here. But Higginbotham's going to hold that inside line like his life depends on it. White flag is out for Higginbotham, Robinson, Hill, your current top 3. It looks like Higginbotham may be able to hold on to it here. It's going to take a last-ditch effort from Robinson if he wants a shot at his first win of the season, but the checkered flag will fly. And at the line, it's going to be Jason Higginbotham, his second win of the season. Robinson finishing second, and Dan Hill finishing third here today. What a great race up front. That was a lot of fun to call that action. Our top three drivers taking a beautiful shot here. Higginbotham, Robinson, Hill. Sitting pretty for the fans. And Higginbotham going to enjoy the limelight. His second win of the season, burning it down, number 44. What a grit, what a finish, too. Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, your top three. We're going to talk to Higginbotham about his burnout, so. Now we're going to try and get these top three drivers up here into victory lane to tell us about their evening. As we're still waiting on Higginbotham, Robinson, and Dan Hill to make their way up here. What a fantastic race. Just the right amount of cautions to throw a wrench into everybody's plan that had long runs in the back of their mind. And unfortunately, some drivers will once again not have the result they were looking for. But we're going to start getting our drivers down here into the podium room. Starting off first, we've got Dan Hill and the number 10 machine. Dan, welcome back up here to victory lane for the podium the podium position, and finishing a strong third in the MXPX sponsored number 10.
Yeah, buddy, long, rough day. This track is a beast. We'll say that.
Now, Dan, with the responsibility with you having those big blinks early on, I mean, what was the call being made to stay out on track and try and fight through it?
Yeah, I was watching my quality level, and if it had got to the red, I would just pulled to the back. I was pretty sure it was a early thing. So sometimes I get that on Sundays. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, at the worst opportune time, but glad to see you able to bring it home here at the end and kind of survive. Now, it seemed like the last few weeks we've had long green flag runs that were punctuated and interrupted by late race cautions. Is that something you're starting to plan for, or are you just saying let's ride and see what happens?
Well, I hope it's not something I planned for. I mean, I was the reason why that long green flag got stopped. I just lost it out of two, and I feel awful because I know it, kind of screwed up things for a lot of guys. It happens, but it is frustrating when it does happen. But you always got to plan for the inevitable because it seems like at some point someone's gonna have issues, and it seems like late rate cautions kind of happen.
For sure, and it seemed like it went well, and you're definitely on fire so far this season, starting to get faster and faster, climbing up the rookie standings. Is it just getting more comfortable in the car, more comfortable around the opponents? What is it that's we're causing to see you more often up here in Victory Lane?
I spent a lot of time practicing, and I'm trying to get back into it. I'm racing a lot more official races on iRacing, and that's helping me at least get through the field and get used to people wrecking and trying to be able to avoid that, and then see what kind of strategies I can play, and I can tinker around and kind of just see how it reacts.
Well, awesome, Dan. Good to see you getting more and more comfortable, quicker and quicker up front each and every week, and hope to see you back up here more often, my friend. And real quick, who do you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped you get up here inside the podium booth.
Well, seeing I haven't hit it the last two times, I'll give a shout out to my wife because we all know that the ultimate decision on whether I get to race or not is on her. But no, I appreciate everything she does. She helps me out with getting equipment and whatnot to get up here and be competitive. So love her to death, and she puts up with a lot. So you know, love Tracy.
Awesome. Dan, good talking to you, my friend. Congratulations on third, and hope to see you back up here next week.
Copy. Thanks, bud.
Thank you, sir. That was Dan Hill finishing third here tonight. Up next, we've got Robinson, the long run pro, but seems like he just can't catch a break with the late race cautions, my friend.
Yeah, sometimes that becomes a trend.
Yeah, I mean, you got the long run pace. We see you frequently runs 3, 4, up to 7 seconds ahead the rest of the field, and then it turns into a sprint race bloodbath here at the end.
Yeah, turns into a guessing game of how many guys are on the lead lap and how many guys are going to pit.
Yeah, I mean, do you have to adjust the strategy at all at this point? What's the plan moving forward? Because I know you're still looking for the first win so far this season. You're the most winningest driver last season. It's just bad break, it seems.
It'll turn around. It sometimes it just the ball just bounces the wrong way for you, and can't be too disappointed today. We had a really fast car, some good racing out there, and then Higgy just did a great job at the end of making the call to stay out with a couple lap extra tires, and they weren't too bad.
Yeah, it seemed like you closed it down to 2 or 3 tenths, I think, in that final run, but just not quite able to look like close the gap. I mean, was that the tire wear we're seeing just so aggressive here at Richmond, preventing you from to making that charge?
Yeah, I think I needed to be a little bit more patient and remind myself that he had a couple lap extra tires and then just let it naturally get up there. But I kind of hurried it and I got there with like 8 to go and then I scorched him a little bit and that was kind of the end of it.
Well, Josh, always great time talking to you. I know it's not the night you're looking for, but still really helping you out in the points chase. I don't know if you're going to move up to the top spot after this, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to dethrone MacArthur. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out as the run continues and the championship develops. I know I'm excited as well as the fans are at home. And before I let you sign off and enjoy the rest of the Sunday, who would want to give a shout out to that's helping you get up here week in and week out?
My teammates, Andrew, Dale, and Joe and Tom, we always bounce ideas off of each other. And then Tom and I, especially today, Tom is the king of Richmond, and we were bouncing some ideas off of each other. So he was a huge help in keeping that car rolling straight.
Awesome. Josh, always a great time talking to my friend. Great to have you back up here, and hope to see you back up here for throughout the duration of the rest of the season as well.
Appreciate it, James. Look forward to watching the broadcast.
Thank you, Josh. That was Josh Robinson finishing second. And welcome back, the man of the hour, Jason Higginbotham. Not racing often, but when you do, we seem to be talking more and more, my friend.
Man, it's good stuff, James. Hey, sometimes you gotta be better lucky than good. Sometimes I take it.
Now, Jason, out of three races, you've won 2, wrecked out of another. I mean, are you just a checkers or wreckers kind of guy, or what's the strategy when you are able to come out and race?
Yeah. Hey, it definitely looks that way. I told you that. I told you that at Phoenix, I can either halfway drive this car halfway decent, or I just can't drive it at all. Tonight was kind of 50-50, but look, the luck fell my way.
Yeah, opting to stay out late in the tire game. We were playing 8-lap older tires on that final restart. Were you at all nervous you're going to see some fresh tire heroes come blitzing around you, or were you pretty comfortable?
Well, Josh isn't a fresh tire hero. He's just fast in general. He ran me down, and I do hold the bottom entering one. I try to hold the bottom all the way around, so he was gonna have to take the high side. He looked at the bottom one time there, and I cranked a little bit more front brake in there and tried to drive it harder, but I don't think he pushed it too hard after that.
Yeah, that's part of the great thing about racing here at the OBRL Metro Ford Cup Series. Everybody, especially inside the top 5, doesn't really want to risk it after you put so much time into bringing it home. And now, Jason, I mean, during those long run green flag runs, were you at all worried that you're going to see the podium elude you tonight, or were you kind of comfortable that things were going to turn around towards the end?
Before that caution, before that caution, look, I was running fourth gear the whole way around, and it definitely was making up time. I felt like I got by two of the guys I couldn't get by earlier in fifth, and I ran up to Tom and was running Tom's pace and keeping pace with Josh at when that very first caution came out, 100 whatever lap it was. So I felt like my long run was good, and I felt like I'd have had another third place finish. I don't think we had nothing for Josh tonight, and me and Tom would have had a good battle for it. But that caution, well, that's what it was. It was after I pitted there and the caution came out. You know, the whole strategy of the race changed.
Now, Jason, you're kind of developing yourself with a reputation as a technical track kind of guy. I mean, picking up that win at Phoenix, Atlanta didn't go terribly great for you, but then another win here at Richmond. Now, coming up, we've got Martinsville, we've got Bristol Dirt, we've got Dover, Darlington, some really technical tracks. Are you feeling good about those, or what's the sentiment with some of the races coming up?
I tell you what, there's no other league I'd run in that I can tell you I feel good about Martinsville, but this league right here is the best. And man, I feel good about Martinsville. We'll just see. It's going to be 100% track position at Martinsville, you know that, and we'll see if many cautions come out. And the rest of them are up in the air for me. I feel great about Dover if it wasn't in this wasn't in this car right here.
Well, Jason, always a great time talking to my friend. Congratulations picking up your second win of the season. You've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped you get up here?
Okay, again, thank you, James. I appreciate you. I definitely got to give a shout out to Metro Ford, VLS Racing with Victor Lane, Kim Bowl. I got to give a shout out to Dwayne MacArthur and this Old Bastards Racing League. This is definitely one of the best racing leagues. I jump in others here and there, but the respect and the drive these guys give you in this league is so much more fun to jump in here. It's a blast. I got to thank Powerhouse Racing and Higgy's House of Power. That's what I forgot last time.
Awesome, Jason. Congratulations, my friend. Good to see you back up here in the top spot, and hope to see you up here again whenever you decide to race again.
Thank you, James. I appreciate you, buddy. You have a good Sunday.
Thank you as well, my friend. That was Jason Higginbotham bringing home the top spot, his second time of the season here at Richmond. He gets that number one spot. Number 44, Josh Robin finishes second, and Dan Hill finishing third. As always, on behalf of the Old Bastards Racing League, oldbastardsracing.com, as well as Metro Ford Cup, VLS, and Kim Bowl, my name is James East. Thank you all so much for tuning in on a Sunday afternoon, enjoying the show, and I hope to see you back same time, same place next week. Have a great day, everybody.